Yo yo, blameomni here, how are you doing today? Thank you very much for stopping on by to the channel, I do very much appreciate it. Hello, we are here on floor 487 and what I wanted to show you guys was a brand new meta. Whether or not if I could do it on this map will be one of those things, but we will try to do it for you. Okay, what do we have? What kind of shenanigans? Of course I've got headstrong assassins. I'm just dead and dead again. Okay, first off, let's quickly go over the defenses and the meta build. Let's quickly cover it so that you guys can see what's happening, what's going on. First off, proton beam. I think everyone's got these proton beams. Frosty beams, vampiric empowerment, destructive pylon, tenacity, poison, defense rate. Heading on over to explosive traps here, we have defense rate, anti-melee and tenacity, 0 out of 5, chaos 8, fire for effect, destruction, mass destruction, and then we're following up with a little makeshift earth proton here to fill in this little elemental combo. We have automation to keep that with that tenacity, we have defense rate because we need to keep up the defense rate cap, and we have frosty beams, well, because it's frosty beams, there's no point in having protons without them. So what's the main, how do you build this so-called meta build? Quite simple actually. We're going to want to have 2 explosive traps, like so. We're going to want our proton beam roughly sort of near the back end of these guys here, and then we're going to want to have the earth proton just sneakily, just sneak that in right behind that. Okay, now the only problem is that we have with this lane right here is that it's a Kursakazi lane. Now, that means there's no point in me trying to buff beam it. There's no point in me trying to put a boost aura down because these are just going to lose their power from the Kursakazi. So how do we fill in that particular area that'll cover it'll just do more stuff? Well, we could add in one more explosive trap, and then following suit we can actually add in a frosty tower to this lane. We have to look for other means of ways of implementing the power into the build. So right here, I want to say that this frosty tower will be safe there, but you never know with hex throwers. He might throw there, he might throw here, he'll throw wherever he feels like it. Okay, right, okay, just quickly in terms of the flyers, I suppose, it'd be here and here. Here, we're probably going to want to buff and boost these bad boys, I would think would be a good idea to do. Nothing special on the sky guards. I've just split up the roles for each sky guard, so I have a poison sky guard, anti-range, anti-support. Unfortunately, you can't get these together modded anymore. I'm not too sure why that's a thing, but it just happens to be. Destruction, deadly strikes, defense rate. Then we have an earth one with anti-chaos, anti-goblin. We're already covering range and support here. If we're going to put down 2 sky guards, why not cover more of the nastier types of mobs, which would be the goblin, EMP, chaos mobs. So we got those down. So we're just covering our bases to cover more different types of mobs. Both of them together should pack quite a punch. If not, then it just means that we just need more upgrades. More upgrades into those. More upgrades. Same thing again though, following suit from this side. We're going to bust out the explosive traps again. And we're going to make sure we have the other earth proton kicking about here. Okay, so for here we just kind of want to fill in as much of the space as we can. In all fairness, we'll try and put down as many as the standard explosive trap setup. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to put 4 across this way, so I think 3 probably would be ideal. But in terms of the proton beam, so that's where we're probably going to have to stretch it a little bit. It might be a bit tricky to fit it into this little space, but we will try our damnedest. So let's try first off with here. We can place it here. It might seem a bit makeshift, but we need to get it in somehow. So again, proton beam, just get it, just tuck it in there as tightly as you can. Right there. That should still cover most of the mobs here for this lane. Now we have a proximity which is absolutely fantastic. Pile it on, we already have earth, poison, freeze, so that's going to deal so much damage to these guys. We have no Kursakazi in this lane, which is absolutely fantastic, so we can go in on this stuff. We can bust out the boost aura, bust out the buff beam, crank these traps up nicely. Oh yeah, 6.6 right across the board. That's looking pretty good to me. That looks pretty damn good. Okay, what's next? Well, let's jump on down here and see what we have down here. Cyfrost Vanguard Throwers, armoured, enemy start weaker, so they're going to get pretty strong by the time they get out of this, get out of the lane here. So we're going to have to try and spawn camp these as much as we can, but we don't want to have it too close to where as all the mobs are they're all piled up and trying to push past one another. So we're going to do the same again here. Double stack that. I think we're probably going to want to do a little bit more in this lane though, just to kind of go further. So I'm going to throw down this. I'm going to throw down the reflect beam just in front of these traps here, because the only reason why I'm doing that is because I want to protect this boost aura. That's why we're doing it. So yeah, there's that. There we go. It looks pretty good to me. Like there's only so much that I could do with, you know, I feel like I've covered all my bases. Like I could put a lot more into this lane if I really wanted to. I guess I'll go a little bit further, and yeah, I guess I'll go like a tiny bit further. I'll put a frosty tower in here as well, and I guess for this lane too we'll do exactly the same. One frosty tower. So there's 770 out of 900. I've got 200. I've got 200 left on me. Where do I want to put this mana? The ideal place would actually be the sky guards for all these flyers that are coming in, but we'll punch those in. We actually don't have any lava guardians on this map, which is kind of unusual. We'd have to completely swap our defenses and change up a few different things for those guys, because those guys are actually ranged, if you were not aware of that. So you should definitely keep your wits about you when you see lava guardians on the field. If you're someone who's got a lot of anti-melee mobs, anti-chaos, a lot of mini boss and stuff like that, it's going to be, you'll notice that they'll push through your defenses until you get some upgrades into them. So yeah, as you can see here, we've just got traps down, proton beams, we've got frosty tower, we've got boosts in, buffs in, and that's roughly about it. This meta build is very strong. It's very, very strong. Now, there's kind of a bit of controversy going on around in the DD2 universe right now. It's whether or not if anti-mods are second best to diverse mods. I could turn around and tell you that that is not the case. It's not the case at all. Effectively, anti-mods will overall be is actually the king. It's the king of the DPS, and there's no exception to that rule of thumb, because it's been that way for so long that there's no reason for the developers to change the wheel on something that's been set in stone for the last, what, 3 years. So I feel very sympathetic to those that might have got a false sense of information or a false sense of security from diverse builds in general. It costs way too much. It's not effective enough in the higher tiers of Onslaught. It will not carry you through almost every single build it is that you need to do in order for you to maximize your damage potential. It doesn't work. Like it's non-existent. there's more things to cover about said topic, but you know, like, I'm here, I've got a build for you. I'm telling you guys, it's a meta build because it works, and it works on the high level floors. I'm not particularly on, obviously, the certain high floors, but I am quite high up here to show you a build that, as you can see, is doing very well for itself. I have assassins to deal with. But technically, in theory, with the way that diverse builds work, is you need to have a minimum of a certain amount of DU to utilise said diverse. You cannot do that in every single lane. You end up having to waste too much effective DU in order for you to cover your flyer lanes. So it's just not possible. It's not possible. But with 2 anti-mods, you're basically doubling the DPS of what it is that you have now, effectively. But it's not only that, it's that your DPS is targeted. It's actually targeted to the mobs that are the most dangerous. The most dangerous mobs to you. We already know that out of all the mobs it is we have, a majority of them are melee. Now in this case, there's actually not a lot of melee mobs here. There's not a lot of melee mobs here or here. The majority of them are, well, there's not really any on here. But do we have to worry about that? No, because our defenses just kick ass. Yeah, they just kick ass. So I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna pop an upgrade in to these explosive traps, as you've seen. I'm gonna head on over yonder. We're gonna do the same over here. Okay, pop, pop. I think just for sheer safety's sake, we will hit the sky guards as well, and then we will go. But effectively, in theory, you should be able to target the more dangerous mobs with 180 DU. You need to be able to have that 180 DU per lane in order for you to cover your basic stuff. Your basic stuff and things. If you go over that threshold, you start cutting into sky guards. Now, we all know when it comes to onslaught, like, anti-air is like the bane of everyone's existence. If you start chipping away at Skyguard DU, it's going to cause you problems unless you're willing to actually DPS those flyer lanes yourself manually, which sometimes you just can't do that. You know, what happens if you got roller lanes, you know, that effectively you need to DPS because you've decided not to build for those specific lanes? You're like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You can't do anything about it, you know? So you have to effectively build, you know, you have to make sure you're covering the basis for what it is that you're doing, you know? Now, with anti-mods, as which we are demonstrating right here, we just have anti-mods within this build, and it's holding these lanes without any issues. There's no issues anywhere that I can see. Yeah, apart from me dying from assassins consistently. Yes, I am dying from assassins consistently quite often. I know that that's a thing. I know that that's a thing. Nothing I could do about this guy. There we go, he died. But yeah, as I was saying, like, there's only, with just the 2 proton beams and the 2 traps, we got 40, 80, 100 and 20. Not including this trap that's here, but effectively there's 120 DU that's on, and it's so powerful, it's so strong. We've got Petrify in there, we've got Freeze, we got Poison, we got a whole bunch of different things that are doing a multitude of different damage. So I'm pretty sure that once I upgrade these traps one more time, I actually won't need to look at any of these lanes again, because explosive traps are just so strong. I did notice, however, this frosty tower was broken. There's something kind of wrong with that right now. Right, I'm not even going to hit those. I'm just going to completely ignore them and continue on. And yeah, I'm just kind of going to keep on going. All I have within these builds is anti-melee right now. Is pretty much all that I have, because all we have down is traps, right? Tenacity, anti-melee, defense rate. Like, that's all that we have in here. But it's kicking, it's, as you can see, it's absolutely annihilating all these lanes. With how much DU out of 180? 120, 140-ish DU per lane, and like, as you can see, I've got 770 out of 900. I've still got DU that I could spend right now, but I haven't spent it because I don't need it. Why? Because anti-mods are so strong. They're so strong. They help you to target the mobs that are the most dangerous. A diverse build does not do that. A diverse build would be able to effectively do DPS to a whole bunch of different mobs at the tooltip DPS. Oh look, Lava Guardian. Well, I don't have any anti-ranged in here, but I'm pretty sure you're going to die nonetheless. Just like me. Damn it. I got free. I had freedom from that assassin there for a moment, but it looks like it's not happening now. Am I going to be quick enough? Yes, there we go. Nice. What do you know? I survived an assassin. What do you know? Get on my level. Just get on my level. Eh? Couple of explosive traps just totally decimated. A couple of high floor 487 headstrong. It was just a single assassin, but hey, he absolutely annihilated. Yeah, it's like you know, yeah, like I don't really see any need for me to upgrade anything else. So, you know, I'm kind of going to hit the button and see whether or not if that rings true with the defense as it is that we have right now. So if you're currently looking for the most ultimate of meta builds right now, it's proton beams. That's what you're looking for. It's proton beams and explosive traps. What you do to end up filling in the small things like, you know, Kursakazis, you know, you got your frosty lanes. I'm sure there's other things that you can add into the equation that would help you out for it. Like, look at that, an anti-ranged mob just got completely annihilated from a couple of traps. Like, anti-melee traps nonetheless. Granted, they are buff and they're boosted. You know, the only thing I could see pushing these guys is the bosses. It's the only thing that I could see pushing these guys. But if there's nothing else in the lane to take out, the explosive traps will have free reign on the enemy that's before them, and they will die. Like, they will just die. Gotta make sure I get this headstrong guy. Don't want him annoying me. Oh, what? Why? Why did you run away? Get back here, you chicken. Chicken. As you see, like, I didn't touch any of the bosses, and they just completely they died. No problem. Now, why did they die? Leave your comments in the section below. It won't matter because I'm literally going to tell you. It's because they're anti-melee. That's why they both died. It's not about them being anti-mini-boss or anything like that. They died. They died because of the anti-melee, because both of those mobs were classed as a melee mob. I'm unsure what it was that destroyed that frosty tower back there. Unsure. Yeah, I haven't got a clue. Something decided to whack him in the face. Oh, I didn't survive that time. Come on, traps, you got to do better than that. I think I got a lucky proc on other traps. I think I was lucky. Yeah. Well, my poor Frosty Tower though. Who was whacking my Frosty Tower for no reason? Like, that's just rude. 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 I just like, yeah, okay. I just hit G again. Like, how much mana do I have on me right now? Oh, the Frosty Tower's broken. Can I put it back real quick before the assassin comes? I kind of need that Frosty Tower to be working. That would be kind of nice. There we go. That Frosty Tower over there seems to be broken as well. What's with the Frosty Towers? They're all broken. Chromatic, fix Frosty Towers. What's wrong with y'all? Fix the Frosty Towers, please. Dude, what? Okay, what is with that assassin as well? Like, he runs away from me. Why you run away? Why you run away from me? I'll have a guardian. He's gone, he's out of there. 1 billion Gregory. Dead. See ya. Yep. Auf Wiedersehen. Auf Wiedersehen. Well, there you go, folks. I do hope you've enjoyed this. Here we go, wave 20s. Wave 5 in the bag. If you're still curious about the meta build and you're wanting to find out more information about what's going on, what's happening, why is this working, why is this doing what it's doing, feel free to stop on by when I'm streaming. It's twitch.tv/originalomni. You'll find me on there quite a lot of the times. There's a backlog of videos there that are like 14 days old and that you could check out, where we're going through the motions, you know, figuring out some stuff and things. We're having discussions about what's kind of going on in the community and things like that, you know. So yeah, feel free, stop on by. Thanks very much for watching. I really do hope you've enjoyed. If you're looking for the meta, you've found it, welcome. I implore you to do this. Like I said, when it comes round to figuring out what you would do for very specific lanes, you know, if it's exactly the same as this and it's a Kursakazi lane, just add in a Frosty Tower. Frosty Tower will sort that. Yeah? Stop trying to do diverse builds is all I'm trying to tell you, is, okay? Stay away from it. The toxicity of doing something is not going to get you to the end of the game when that's all you ever want to do, is to push onslaught, get into those high digits. Tooltip DPS does not matter. It does not matter. All the antis stack with one another. It all has multiplicative damage that stacks so much higher than diverse builds ever will. It takes too many defense units to build like that with a diverse build, and you can never fully place them all down in every single lane. Specify your defenses to do very specific things. A good example of this is my lightning strike towers here. For a good example, anti-mini boss, anti-chaos, anti-mini boss. These things are really good for destroying not only bosses, but they're also good for killing lady orcs, because lady orcs are a melee mob and are a chaos mob, so 2 anti-mods stacking on top of that particular mob is going to kill it no matter what. It's the same with mini boss. We have bosses that are not only melee, but they are chaos mobs and they're a mini boss. LSAs work really well for that. There you go. Assassins are both a melee mob and they're a chaos mob. So these are assassin killers as well, if you're able to put a couple of these down, but you'll have to get them upgraded first before they will effectively do their job. And if it's a headstrong one like I was struggling with there, you'll actually need to just have nothing out. The lane has to be clear, and it just has to be a couple of lightnings. Like, it basically, something along the lines of this is what you would be looking to do. Like, effectively, this is what I could have had. It was something like this just to help deal with the assassins. But it has to be one-on-one. Otherwise, this strategy won't work for you. You will just die most of the time. Again, if there's anything that I haven't covered, feel free, leave a comment down below. Again, you can always come on. You don't even need to leave a comment. You can come and find me on twitch.tv. Original Omni. I'm usually streaming there for the DD2s most of the time. Feel free, stop on by. Thanks very much again. Hopefully this was an educational video for you, and hopefully you guys won't make the mistakes that some of the other new players might be stumbling across. Take care, have a good one, and I will see you all later. Later.